אוקיי, announcement אחד קטן לפני שהלייב מתחיל באופן סופי. היה לי קצת בעיות באומרי לייבסטרים שלי, אז אני אגיד את זה כאן ועכשיו, שרוב הסיכויים, אם לא לפחות 90%, אומרי סופית יעבור בעצם למערכת הריקורדינג. אומרי יהיה בעצם סרטונים, לא לייבים. זה מבאס, אבל היה אפשר לראות בפרקים של אומרי איך זה יצא. למזלי המשחק הזה לא גורם לכזה הרבה בעיות. אז מה ניתן לאינטרו פה להפעיל? אז שלום לכולם! כאן ירין, וברוכים הבאים לעוד פרק של ה-Apollo Justice Trilogy. בוי! אז כן, אני אתחיל בעצם מפה. Turnout Serenade, טרייל די אחד. אז כן, בוא ניגש לטרייל של Turnout Serenade. בוי. איי, פעם קודמת. אומייגאד, כמה דמויות. או של פרצופים חדשים חוץ מאמה. אוקיי. נטוס, נמירה, מאצ'י, קסנד. אוקיי. אז בכללי, אפילו גם אין לי כזה הרבה evidence. Interesting. ציפיתי דווקא שיהיה לי יותר. משום מה. אז אוקיי. אז פעם קודמת אני סיימתי בעצם את האינבסטיגיישן של סרנייד, והיה בעצם טירוף שהתחילו להאשים את מאצ'י כהרוצח. גם אפילו בן כמה הוא? 14. פאקינג בן 14 וחשבו שהוא רצח אותו. מישהו שהוא בעצם 20 שנה בערך יותר מבוגר ממנו. What the fuck? אני לא רואה את הלוג'יק פה. אוקיי, whatever. בכל מקרה, יש את כל הקסטרגיל, obviously. פיניקס, ג'וסי, קלאבייר, אמה. אז כן, הגיע הזמן לעשות את ה-voice acting craziness שבדרך כלל יש. ונראה שתיגשים ישר על הטרייל. ה-9 ביולי 10 בבוקר, דיסניקורד, קוטר מספר 3. נראה שעכשיו מתחילים בטרייל. אוקיי. voice acting גלות! לא עשיתי את זה קודם לאומרי, כי היה בעיות עם אומרי, אז אני עכשיו אעשה פה. Court is now in session for... how do I say that? Machito Baye, Your Honor. The pixie of the arpeggio. Whatever. Right, it's trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is A-okay, Judge. Very well. Prosecutor Gavin? My opening statement, yeah? No, actually. There was something else I wanted to ask you about. Marshall? Yes? Say, you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? Ma? I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'll only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial, the Chief Justice's son. Oh, interesting. The Chief Justice?
His son is afflicted with a most terrible disease. Doesn't have long, it seems.
Oh. Ah.
So I thought I would go pay him a visit. But saying something moving might be the order of today.
Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? Looking at me is some kind of disgust. Hey, why are you looking at me like that for?
In any case, I'm a bit busy, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement. Brief.
You're in luck, Herr Judge. I believe you'll be going on to your hospital.
Is it sooner than you think?
First, to review the victim in this case.
Romain Letus, age 35. The global manager for Diva Sanctus La Mirror. The cause of death? Blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver.
Hang on, Ken. Hang on, hold on. לא, זה אפשרי. אני רציתי לשאול את דברים האלה. האם זה באמת יהיה בלאד לוס או שזה משהו אחר? אבל לא, רוב הסיכויים זה באמת בלאד לוס, הוא עדיין היה בחיים.
This report has all the details. The court accepts this into evidence.
אוקיי, עכשיו יש לי משהו. That was due to blood loss from gunshot wound. Estimate time 9 ל-9:30.
45 caliber. That's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet.
However, the bullet stuck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight.
Death was not imminent.
Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved.
I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering.
Okay.
2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder.
Both bullets were found in the wall of the scene. Observe the diagram.
This is where the bullets hit. See, the court accepts this evidence.
Okay, כרגיל.
If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use.
Really? Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. אני לא בטוח ספציפית בנוגע לקליבר, אבל אני כן יודע שלכל סוג של רובה יש בעצם הדף אחר בין כל ירייה וירייה שהוא עושה. אז אי אפשר כאילו לקחת רובה, לכוון אותו רגיל ככה בצ'י ולעשות בם בם בם, כי זה לא ריאליסטי. כי מתי שעושים אותו ביד אחת, אז כאילו, כשמחזיקים רובה ביד אחת, אז יש בעצם הדף שבא אחר כך שבא לך כל הכוח של היד בגלל משהו שקוראים לו אחד מהחוקים של ניוטון, לא זוכר איזה. נראה לי זה חוק שלישי, אבל אל תצטטו אותי. בקיצור, אחד מחוקי ניוטון, ו1 או 3 100% לשני כי זה לא קשור, מראה בעצם אם הכדור בעצם יורה בכוח שמה, אז במערכת של הרובה, אז מי שמחזיק אותו או מה שמחזיק אותו יקבל בחזרה גם את אותו כוח. אז כן, אני לא בטוח ספציפית ל-45 קליבר, אבל לכל רובה יש בעצם קיckback שונה שעושה הרבה יותר חוזק. If saying the judge tried to fire one, it will break every bone in his body. Okay. זה מצחיק. כאילו הג'אדג' זקן, בסדר, אבל... לא הייתי אומר שזה בהכרח נכון, אבל whatever.
The defense will take more care in choosing examples. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. The dressing room only has one entrance. This door. That does seem to be the case, yes. However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots.
He's talking about you and Emma, huh?
Yet when the witness entered the room, it was empty. Save for the victim's body, of course. That's impossible! Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person. One person? That is, of course, the defendant, Machi Tobai. Did this defendant have committed the crime?
לא, זה לא עוד מעט אנגורד. מה הלוג'יק?
But how? It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear. Okay. Very well, I assure you. I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please show the witness to the stand.
Oh! Emma קודם, אוקיי. וואו! פעם ראשונה שאני עושה אמה בתשואה, נראה לי.
Your name and profession, please.
Now, Sky, I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night.
Emma seems tired somehow.
Security at concert, you say? So security I was. Could even stop a murder.
אמה, הכל בסדר. גם נתת לדיימון גאנט להתחמק מזה ברייס בדיעה שז you're fine.
Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know?
Okay. Wow, Judge. I'm sure that makes her feel much better.
I want to hear about these bigger mistakes.
In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you will. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please.
Alright.
Okay. Testimony ראשון עם אמה.
The night of the murder, I was on security backstage. At Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the first set, I heard shots. I went to the room filling with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined only the defendant could have done it.
איך?
It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene. But that door was the only way out of the room, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't get it. How can you say that Machi did it?
Looks like we need a bit more information.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
אוקיי. בוא נתחיל לקרוס. I was in security. People involved with the concert are loud. at the beginning of the first shot, I went into the room with music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined the only difference I could have done it. Memphis. How could you know something like that?
As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen. We know that there was only one exit to the room. That door. The small window only opened a tiny crack. And I was standing in front of that door. So, how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility. The air vent.
אז הם היו כמו האימפוסטר באמונג אס?
Objection!
Oh! But that air vent was too small! Who could possibly?
Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through. Nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child.
A child?
Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. And of all people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child.
The defendant?
The pixie of the arpeggio flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime.
Objection!
But that's just conjecture!
Oh, there was no other way out of that room? You were there. You should know her forehead.
Ken.
And there is another vile piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the Irvin grill. Chaser said it had recently been opened.
Wait, what?
And something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant, Matty Tobias' fingerprints.
What? Okay, זה לא כיף! זה לא כיף שעל ההתחלה יש כזה הרבה suspicion. Order!
Yet the elephant was the only way out of that room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, her forehead. What fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, pal? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience.
This was decisive evidence.
Quite decisive indeed.
I know the circumstances under which the body was found. I was there.
An examination of the scene was enough to nail down the killer?
Should I have a good reason? I must have had a good reason to arrest Machi. Going to find out what it was. ליטרלי מצאתי את זה! מה עוד חסר? הייתי לפתוח כל רקע מבלי לעשות את זה, אבל לא נראה שאפשר. אז, מה יש פה שאולי יעזור לי? יש לי... במקרה הזה זה לא רלוונטי כי אמה יודעת. זה אמה יודעת. זה decisive evidence שמאצ'י היה בעצם בוונט. שהוונט היה פתוח והיה fingerprints של מאצ'י על הוונט. אוקיי.
Hold it!
The mother was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was a detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert.
I thought exactly. But orders are orders. Even when they come from rock gods.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes. Allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. The day at the concert hall.
Conspiracy?
Well, is it obvious? My keys! That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. It's all because someone stole my keys. Can't wear my hog to show. I couldn't open my guitar case.
There he comes again. Is it possible he simply misplaced them?
Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into the murder victim's hand on their own.
What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect. Ken! Avoir a third set, no? Why a set?
Love for slow acting in you. A true queen is waiting for you.
He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top?
The killing happened to be in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task.
I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean, time under my... Please, a testimony. All people were involved were... With the all people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage.
Hold it!
You were let in though.
Didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I gave the Forlin special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again.
Oh boy, did you hear that? You're officially involved now. Gee, great.
Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off.
So no other outsiders were there then.
And then,
At the beginning of the first set, I heard shots. Went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body.
Hold it!
Rock?
blaring, yes. And you say rock, you're referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days?
That's right. When I went to the dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall.
They pipe sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage.
They don't have to be so loud!
Don't listen to the governors with your ears. Fill it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume. When we walked into the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe. Making it easy to determine the time of the crime. If you could hear that music playing, then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi.
including myself.
Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation.
I believe that's enough of that.
The prosecution has a rather convincing case.
The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched,
Making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive.
Ah! I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict. Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough.
Get me over already!
Very well. I believe this trial is finished. The defense has no contradictory evidence. The prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it would better be clear and plain.
Oh, they got us on the ropes already! We'll come up with something quick.
I know!
Think, what can get us out of this? With evidence, or witness that can prove Machi's innocent beyond a doubt.
Now that... Well...
Witness or evidence?
האמדנס אומר אחוז decisive, חוץ מזה, הייתי אומר. אבל זה מוכר בעצם את הוויטנס, למירור. Siren of the Ballad. Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that could overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now. This is it. And so soon! I messed this one up. It's all over. The court wants contradicting proof? Call witness. Prosecutor Gavin! You claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I would swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, Awakening My Love.
There he goes again.
That's too bad, because there was a witness.
Oh, really now? How did you come to possess knowledge of the prosecution clearly does not?
Because I am the only one in the whole world who knows about this. Yeah, you know. Letus. וזה שאמר בעצם שהוויטנס זה הסיירן.
What? You have said this before he died?
Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that?
All we know is what her forehead says, he said.
It's not testimony, especially if it comes from the defense attorney himself.
Objection!
Whoa! But it's the truth! He said it! I haven't told you about it! But apparently, you ignored me completely! It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough! Mr. Justice, I need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than the usual is called for. Otto! There's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. Let me roll.
Take that!
Let me roar.
Recall Mr. Lotus's last words. Siren.
The siren. Aha. He meant the siren.
That's right. The siren of the ballad. Let me roar. Let me roar was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin,
My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime.
very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth, then, shall we? We'll now take a break for Detective Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lemuel to the witness stand.
Lemuel would say nothing to the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today I will drag out that story out of her no matter what it is. Kadima! Hi. Sure. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind.
You can speak English?
Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There's much I do not know.
You speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came to my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it. What does she mean she doesn't know? I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lemuel suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia?
Lemuel is not my true name, yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Wow, she's even more mysterious than I thought. As lauded singer Lemuel, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her, thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
I see. You're surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lemuel.
Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I'm being called as a witness. What might I say? No, tell me anything of what happened. Let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet, that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo! You're the bad guy! Wow, Juicy, wow!
Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
Okay. As for what I saw nothing. That night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I got down backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Cavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something bad had happened, but I wasn't told the details. Okay.
I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying.
I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying.
There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need to be.
You just got better, Apollo. Way to go.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet.
Lemuel won't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what.
Okay.
And that's going. Finish his airfield. When I was invited to stage, I did not return after the second set. That was... Oh, you know. That was there to put up police... By the police to Gavin's dressing room and told to wait. That was where I learned that something happened, but I wasn't told the details. למה למה מדברת כל כך לאט? The night I was invited to sing. I guess I did, but I saw nothing.
Hold it!
But you must have seen something! Mr. Latus named you!
Mr. Latus? How can I tell you what I don't know?
Lemmiwar! He said you were a witness with his dying words!
I do not know what he meant to say, but that night...
Was invited to sing. I did not return after the second set. Huh? You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing?
I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing.
And was Machi with you at that time?
Unfortunately, I do not know where he was.
So much for an alibi for Machi. Then I was led by the police to Gavin's dressing room.
Hold it!
With Machi, correct? How was he then?
He seemed as he always does. I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latus's death. Yet, he is not the type to show much emotion. Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence, and those glistening frames speak nothing. The questioning hasn't gotten very far. We sat there, waiting.
That's when I learned about Mr. Latus, but I wasn't
Hold it!
How was the incident explained to you?
I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Latus died.
Of course, investigations require some security.
And Mr. Latus was my manager. Wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Match and I were beside ourselves with concern. Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you. Yes, I understand.
Think, what does the ring true about her testimony?
It's hard to imagine that we were lying.
She must not be lying. She might not be lying, but she is hiding something.
Why wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder?
I was invited to sing, ועכשיו נזכרתי ששכחתי להשתיק את הטלפון. ייי, תודה רבה. I was invited to sing. I did not return after the second set. זה אני מרגיש שזה קשור. אם זה נכון, אז זה יעשה קונטרדיקשן עם הסטייטמנט הזה.
Objection!
אומייגאד, כן. I'm sorry, let me war, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not?
Why, that's Lammy Wars. She was wearing it for her song.
Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin?
What?
This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime. What? Lammy War! How did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. Oh boy!
What is the meaning of this?
Lammy War, please explain. Lammy War? Seriously?
She says English is quite difficult.
That trick's not going to work here! Okay, אפשר להפסיק.
Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact.
What now?
In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment.
What? דבר ראשון זה לא בטסטמוני, דבר שני מה?
Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak.
You really saying all that? What you talking about, Bob? Right when the incident occurred. Ah! You talking about that?
Okay.
Oh! Huh. Okay.
I looked the room. Just a glance, mind you. So this is when your brooch dropped. It explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it.
That's ridiculous! You only looked at that for an instant, but you dropped your brooch?
Her forehead. She has raised the possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. She looked in the crime. So she looked in at the crime scene. Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. And nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. Her forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt.
A horrible voice indeed. I closed the door immediately. Well, that explains the brooch. Let's turn to your testimony.
That's too convenient. She's hiding something.
Lamio, you did look into the room though, right?
Yes.
Testify to what you saw.
Very well. Though it was only the briefest of glimpses.
Oh! זה עכשיו צץ.
When the performance was finished, I went backstage for just a moment. I saw nothing. The late Mr. Lotus's body was behind the wall.
The late Mr. Lotus's body was behind the wall. זה חייב להיות זה, אין שום היגיון פה.
Gotcha!
אוקיי. זה. ושכחתי לעשות סייב לפני פרספשן, כי אני תמיד שוכח איך הדבר הזה עובד. אני תמיד שוכח איך הדבר הזה עובד. זה לא היה אמור להיות מה שהיה צריך לקרות. הנה, אני אעשה עכשיו פה סייב בשביל שזה יהיה מהר יותר. עכשיו נפעיל את זה. I saw nothing. The late Mr. Lotus's body. Oh! Hold on. I saw nothing. The lame Mr. Lotus's body.
Gotcha!
Gotcha, you son of a bitch! The lame Mr. Lotus's body, you say? Yes. You know something more about Mr. Lotus's death than you were saying. What? I can see you were trying not to remember. But the effort made you swallow. Can't fool my eyes. It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Lotus have to be shot? One moment, let me warn. Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Lotus have to be shot? Yes? She was hiding something, I knew it! Let me warn, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. How could that be? This. Now we're contradicting her own testimony and I have evidence to prove it. Words that... How could Mr. Lotus have been shot? Ow! Ken! Hila, baka na sum naman! Tell me, Lamiwar, how did you know he had been shot? Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident.
huh?
Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. אז איך את יודעת את זה? How could you have known? Let's go! Perception complete! זה לא היה כזה קשה. How you were? Not hiding something from this court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All we want to know is the truth.
It looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. ועכשיו זה נחבא.
I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latouche had been shot.
הדלת לא נותנת לזה להיות אופציה! Now you are. They call it the sound of the ballad. Follows are hardly becoming of such a creature. Put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't I make go for once? Observe the diagram! Lamior, you looked in from the door for just a moment. Correct?